What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Nerds Make Sense. It is yours truly, Ted, protagonist, whatever you feel like calling me. Oh, the best podcast host you know. There you go. Yeah. Anyways, we are back here to talk about Ms. Marvel. Now, I'm a huge Ms. Marvel fan. I bought the comics. I bought that bad video game they had from Square Enix that came out just to play as her. And I was very excited when I heard the news that they're making a Disney Plus show for her. And I was on it. It's finally here. I finally watched it, and I am very excited to talk to you about it. Now, this is going to have spoilers in it. So, if you haven't watched the show yet, please click off now. Leave a like and subscribe and come back, please. So we can have a conversation about it in the comments. But if you haven't seen it and you want to stick around for spoilers because you want to, you want some information before going in, if you want to waste your time or not, yeah, please stay and listen to what I have to say, please. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to talk about spoilers. Now, I really did love this show. Episode 1, great show. Now, they did kind of. I don't want to say dumb it down. They did kid it down, meaning, well, there's a lot of it's more towards kids, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. I really do like how they do some of these Disney Plus shows versus making a movie for them, because I feel like if they did make a movie, some people might not go to it, and then I feel like the views for the movie will be bad. I don't know, they should have been a Disney Plus show. And this is perfect for a Disney Plus show. This Ms. Marvel is perfect for a Disney Plus show. Like, if you would have told me I had to go see Hawkeye in movie theaters, I wouldn't go see that movie. So, you know what I'm saying? This is perfect for a Disney Plus show. Now, she is going to be in the Marvels. The second Captain Marvel movie with, Veronica Rambeau or her daughter, and Brie Larson. Everything. So she is going to be in a movie. But right now, Ms. Marvel is perfect for Disney Plus. What they did do a great job on is explaining who Kamala Khan was. Like, all the actors in this show so far, episode 1, okay, I don't want to say like they had the best acting because I don't know what happens later on, but episode 1's acting was perfect. Iman, the lady who plays Kamala Khan, she did a great job portraying the character. She was a big fan. I just watched an interview last night about her. She's been a big fan of Marvel since the start. She dressed up as Kamala Khan for Halloween. She was really in character. She did a great job. She was on point. Everyone else was on point. They did a good job portraying the Pakistani culture, because she is Pakistani. That's what Kamala Khan culture is Pakistani, and they showed a great job of painting how the parents are and the family are and what they can and can't do and stuff like that. So if you don't understand or never seen or I don't know, like, understand the lifestyle, they kind of paint it very good here. That's another thing I really loved about Ms. Marvel. And the parents are funny and lovable. You can relate to the parents, and they did a great job with explaining how in some cultures the boys can go and do everything but the girls can't. As a Mexican, that is, a thing where boys can go out and party and come back like at 1 a.m, but girls can't. It's dangerous for them. They can't go out. They have to be back by 9 or so. Like, I understand it. So I understand the point of view of Kamala Khan's frustration when they say that she can't go to certain places, or she couldn't go to Adventure Con and whatnot. But yeah, her friend Bruno, he did a great job. Very believable from the comics, just like him. And, everyone else, I don't want to go and name everyone's performance by it, but the brother did great. The parents did great. It's perfect, on point. Now, doubling back at what I said, that this is like a kidded down version, I'm not saying that Ms. Marvel in the comics was like rated R, like, don't let kids read this. It was like pushing PG-13 at that. But in this, you can tell that they really made it for kids, because like in the very beginning of the episode, they showed her making this YouTube video for her channel, and it's like cardboard cutouts and little doodles and little, like, post-it note stuff that you'll see in something like Diary of the Wimpy Kid. That's like the best way I can compare it, which isn't bad. It was very good. Like later in the episode when they showed her making a plan to leave the house, they had like a time like written in marker and then stuff like that. It was very Diary of the Wimpy Kiddish, and I really liked it. So it's obviously it's pointed towards kids. That's what I'm trying to say. But it doesn't mean that it was bad for adults. I really enjoyed it when they did have it. I know some people who got to see it cringy or were just trolling at, social media, TikTok, Twitter, were saying that, oh, it's very cringy and, they did a horrible job. Well, obviously, like I said, it's pointing towards kids. So, a 45-year-old or like a 20-year-old person would see how it is cringy, because some kids are cringy, but it was perfect. Yeah, I have no complaints about how PG it is now. It's only the first episode, so you can't hate it. So that's what I gotta say about that. Nothing, the kid stuff, and it's fine. You'll be okay. You'll love it. And then going into her powers. Now, when we talk about her powers, if you guys know that before the show came out, they had images and stuff, and they announced that her powers aren't going to be just like the comics. In the comics, she had the embiggen powers and she was an Inhuman where she can like stretch, and she shapeshifted into like Captain Marvel, which we don't know if she can do yet because obviously it's episode 1. But yeah, in the comics, she gets her power from this bracelet she finds in her parents' attic when she was making her cosplay, and it gives her these powers like an aura of crystal around her, and she can she shoots stuff from her hand, and she can make like steps to step on, which isn't that bad. In the images we've seen before this show came out, it looked bad because it was like very bad quality, and then they put out promotional images for posters, and it didn't look good either. Like I'm looking at one right now, it was very concerning. But versus actually seeing her use them in the show, it was very good. I liked it a lot. They even did an embiggen thing where Zoe, the girl that she was mad at because she was like, she doesn't even like Captain Marvel, but she was at the convention with her, and she used this thing, the embiggen stretch, but it wasn't her hand. It was like the aura, crystal aura. That's what I'm gonna call it. I don't know exactly how to explain it. And she stretched out her arm to catch her. So it was very good. The animation and the CGI and everything was good for the powers. I really liked it. So there's nothing to be mad at. And again, I get why people are mad. In the comic book, she got her powers by going to a party, and they had the Terrigen Mist, or I hope I'm saying that right, gave her powers. She was like an Inhuman from the start, but the Terrigen Mist kind of like upped her powers to get amplify them for her to do crazy stuff like stretch and embiggen and like transform her, like shapeshift or whatever. Versus how she gets it in the comic book, she gets it from a bracelet from her attic that her parents had. Now, see, when they put on the bracelet, right? So we're going into spoilers again. Like I told you guys, if you already know, you're here. But when she put the bracelet on, she got this little aura around her. And then when she went to the cosplay contest, we'll get into it in a minute, she put it on again, and she fell. And when she fell, she went into this like astral plane. It kind of reminded me of the Black Panther. What is it called? The ethereal, the astral dimension, I think. And also other things we've seen like in Moon Knight that just came out on Disney Plus. So I don't know if she's getting her powers from like a god or something, or maybe I'm just like reading into it too much, but it did remind me about that. So you know how Disney is. They release stuff and they show stuff from Marvel in order of how it's going to, Thor Love and Thunder's coming out with with the God Butcher and stuff like that. We have Moon Knight's talking about Egyptian gods and stuff, and now we have this. It might not be anything, but it reminded me of that. It was all purple. There was a bunch of people surrounding her, looking at her, and then she woke up from it. Yeah, it reminded me of that. So maybe I'm onto something, maybe I'm not. But yeah, that's how she gets her powers. In the show, they say that she had to sneak out to go to AvengerCon, which I think they took that from the video game they made with Square Enix, because that's how the game starts off, is that she's there at AvengerCon with her dad. And they did do a thing with that, because in the show, like, they're like, she's like, can I go to AvengerCon? And they're like, no. Like, there's gonna be boys, there's gonna be, people, there's gonna be the mom thinks it's gonna be a party, which she said it was like a convention, but it ended up being a party, it looked like. But it was a convention, but the mom was like, no, 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 we're not going to do that. But then they're like, oh, the brother talked to us and said that, you can go, but you can go with your dad. That's a little like, I don't know if that's, you say it's an Easter egg for the video game. Who knows, dude? Because I just looked back at the comic and that wasn't a thing. She just snuck out. But yeah, when she did get there and she snuck out in the comics, she was going to a party and her friend Bruno was like, "You're not gonna go," and he ended up snitching on her. Versus in the show, he helped her sneak out to AvengerCon, which is cool. And in the comics, after the Terrigen Mist comes out, Zoe, the girl, the popular girl from her school, she fell in the water and she was drowning, and Kamala Khan just got her powers, and so she transformed to Captain Marvel and saved her. And in the show, when she wanted to do a cosplay contest, she worked so hard on this cosplay for Captain Marvel, and Zoe, sorry about that, smell Lord. But in Zoe in the show, she dressed as Captain Marvel, but she didn't know anything about her. She didn't even like the Avengers, but she did it just to do it because she's popular or whatever. But in the show, during the cosplay cosplay contest, she showed her powers by accident because she didn't know, because the flashing. She was getting nervous. It reacted to her anxiety, I guess, of being on stage. And everyone liked it and took pictures. And then she shot one off that knocked over a statue of Ant-Man that broke something else, yada yada yada. And then they had like a floating Thor's hammer, and it hit her, and she was like swinging off from like the rooftop from it, because it was on the roof and it swung down and it was going back and forth like that ride. And she fell and she saved her the same way in the comics, sort of, minus the drowning, because in the comics she stretched out her hand to save her from the water, pulled her up. In the show, she stretched out her hand just like the embiggen powers she had, but now it's this new crystal power. I don't know exactly how to dimension, so I'm gonna say crystal aura until they give me like a definitive way to explain it. And she stretched out her hand and saved her. Now, everyone loved it. No one paid mind to it, but the cops came because obviously someone got hurt. And I thought that was a pretty cool, comparison of like the way from the comics versus the show. It did a great job for that. Now, the last comparison for the show to the comics that I'm going to say is when she snuck back into her house. In the show, her mom was waiting there for her and I gave her this long speech. But in the comics, the brother kind of found her. Like, she jumped through the window. I got the book right here just to give a comparison. And he came in and he was like, "What are you doing? Where have you been? I'm just here to tell you the mom and dad know you snuck out." And the dad is the one that gives her like the speech about, you don't have to be this way. You don't have to lie to us. You broke a promise. In the show, it's the mom, which is understandable. So, because the mom should be the one that reaches out to the daughter, and the dad, and you know what I mean. But in the comics, the dad says, "Then tell me, Jonna, why my precious Kamala has suddenly become a reckless, disobedient girl I barely recognize." The mom says the exact quote, or loosely the same quote, to Kamala when she finds out she snuck out, because they told her no already. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, the dad was like a big person. There was like a bigger role than the mom. I know the mom always says no and tells her she can't do things. They talk about that in the show. I didn't really point that out because obviously that's like, that'll, you can see that. That's not like something that was changed from the comics. The mom was very more strict with Kamala than the dad was. The dad was like a friend. The dad feels like, in the comics, the dad feels like kind of betrayed. She'll do that to them. But in the show, it was mostly the mom. The dad in the show was not that bad. He was very silly and goofy, and stuff. And I really liked him. Now, I don't think there's much else to say. There was a if you're a Marvel fan, to stay after the credits, to set up part 2. There was an after credit scene of the policeman going to go find her, because they seen her using the powers. They're like, "Hey, that kid's kind of young for using superpowers like that. What the hell?" So they want to go find her. That leads into the next part of the episode. But I think that's about it. I really loved the first episode. Like, I'm probably going to go rewatch it again. The music was great. The acting was great. The CGI and everything was great. Like, I can't really, unless you're like a real big hater, like, this isn't exactly like the comics. Well, sorry to tell you, a lot of the stuff that you see in the Marvel MCU are not exactly like the comics. They changed some things, you know, because obviously they can and do what they want. But this is a perfect first episode. Now, I'm not going to say the whole show is great because obviously it's not out. But I am very excited for episode 2. And I hope you guys enjoyed this like little breakdown and comparisons and stuff. I didn't really talk about much spoilers, but you know, I mean, I guess I did, but you know, I'm sorry, I warned you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm glad to be doing this again, and we're not going to talk about what's happening, but I'm glad to be doing this again. This took me a little minute to get into a lot of decision making because I really do like talking about things. So if you liked or appreciate what I had to say, please leave a like and comment and share with your friends. Now, if you have some differences that you want to talk about in the comics, please do so. Let me know. But let's be kind to one another, all right? We're not gonna we're not gonna be mean. If like, you know, I liked the first episode, but if you didn't like it, don't be saying mean things to me or anyone else who liked it. You know, let's all be friendly down there. I know it's hard to say over this, so it's hard to say that on the internet, you know, let's be nice to each other, but you know, please, let's keep it, you know, very civil down there. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like my voice, because I know I don't, but if you guys like or want to see more of me, I do have a Twitch channel. I do stream on there. You can check that out. It's in the description, or you know, you already know the gist of it, right? Everything's in the description. If you guys want me to talk about something that you like, please let me know down in the comments what you want me to talk about. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Please be safe out there. Love one another and be kind. That's all I ask. This is Ted from Nerds Make Sense, and I want you to take care and be safe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.